Alright guys, welcome back. King Shit Customs. The other day I had a buddy of mine text me, message me, ask me about, or show me a picture of a pipe anvil, like a Gene Winfield style pipe anvil. So I figured, you know, maybe this is a good time to show you guys my workstation. So what I got is I've got a pipe anvil here, 2-inch muffler pipe, 1-inch conduit, and on this side I've got a piece of 3/8 flat bar with a piece of angle iron welded to it, so I've got a straight edge and then a sharp edge here. Just happened to make it easy on my stand is I had built a bar for a guy years ago. He wanted to put a light bar on his front bumper of his Jeep. Told me he wanted a square stock, ended up not using it that way, so I had this 1.5 by 1.5 U sitting at the house, so I welded it to a semi brake drum and came up and actually worked out perfect because I've got the pipe anvil on that side. I got my Harbor Freight shear on one side. It was just perfect enough where I put a Harbor Freight 30-inch bench brake in the middle of it. I've got my homemade tucking fork, or little anvil over here, and then I mounted just recently I mounted a drill press vise to it so I can put my dolly in it, because I was using the corner of the square stock and just crushing it. But it actually works out pretty good. It's nice. I don't know if you guys have ever paid attention or ever seen how a pipe anvil works. I just got a piece of scrap here. Let's cut it shorter. So it's nice. Everything's all in one. It's my whole workstation. Do it all in one piece. My shear. I got my stick it in there. Just bend it over. And I've got my 1-inch bend. Stick it over. My 2-inch bend, and then if I need to, we got just a quick straight edge bend. Same thing. That's done. I got my brake, the Harbor Freight brake. You're supposed to clamp the top plate to it. I drilled mine out. I put just a 3/8 washer underneath it, so at times it gets a little tight. So you just put your piece in there and bend it. Same thing, but it makes it super quick and easy. Everything works for me. And then, just like my little, I just recently put the fork on it, but just for, same thing, another little one. It was just easier to get back and forth. What I was doing is, on the Model A, I've been trying to get a piece to fit for the transmission tunnel. So I thought, what a better idea than to do that, so I could bend it around, get it fit, because I only needed half of it bent. And then at home, I clamp all my clamps and everything are mounted to it. All my C clamps, everything is nice to hang down just under the bar. Makes a nice little one-piece workstation. I was able to throw it in the back of the truck and bring it down the shop. The clamp-on vise makes it easy. I've got dolly in it right now. When you cut with the shear, I know they make a ton of really nice ones. This one's just a Harbor Freight one, but when you cut with the shear, it leaves that little edge in it, as you cut it. Kind of leaves a little rough edge, if you can see that on there. Yeah, right there, you can see the rough edge. So with the dolly on it, come over with the hammer, knock it down flat, and it's ready to go. Puts a little curve in it too when you're cutting it. But it's been this is how I built this stand. Is probably 90% of the boat tail was built off of the stand. The only thing that I do regret is when I was doing the roof panels, they were I needed a bigger radius. I should have went with a 3-inch bar instead of a 2-inch bar, and maybe even a 4-inch, but that's what worked for me at the time. But it's not heavy enough on the bottom. When you try breaking a big sheet, it pulls on you. Same thing, not a big deal. I stand on it and then push, makes it easy. But this is just my little quick workshop. Everything works great in it. I know everybody wants to try something different. You don't have to have all the fancy big stuff. This takes up 2 feet by 4 feet of my shop, and it's got almost everything in it. And it's, yes, it's a pain to drag across the shop, but I can drag it out and do it. I moved it down here. If I had 5 different bigger tools, I wouldn't be able to do it down here. I'd have to have the one workshop. For me, because I go back and forth between the muffler shop and the house, this works out great. Maybe it doesn't work for everybody, I know like when Gene Winfield or even Bad Chad's got one too. They've got, you know, 6-8 foot ones. Gene talks about how everything, you clamp everything or put everything in a receiver hitch so you can put it on and off. I do have another bracket. I don't use it very often, but I have another bracket that goes in here. I have my bead roller will bolt to it if I want to. It's a, you know, it's a slower process to bolt to it. And then I've also got an L bracket on here that my stringer stretcher will bolt to. So got different options on it, but this is what I have right now. This is the way I've been using it. I had bought a Eastwood bead roller, so it's got its own stand at the house now. So a bunch of different ones, but you know, this is all homemade. I probably got, you know, the bench brake I bought years ago, and the shear I bought, you know, Harbor Freight stuff. Nothing special, just a drill press. It's just built it on the L bracket. Puts my dolly on there, but I can change it out. Right here, I'm working at the edge of the edge of my lift at the shop. Instead of going back and forth to the chop saw and use it, I pull my dolly out, and I have a clamp here, a vise here to do whatever. Cut my sheet metal to do whatever I need to do. So it's been working out great. You know, just want to show that off, see if everybody else, you know, go make something like that. This has worked great for me. Yeah, I've got a few things here and there I can change, but it was a heck of a start, and it works out perfect. And it was pretty much all scrap that I had, except for the stuff, you know, that I was bolted to my bench anyways. So have a good day, guys.